If I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, well, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want 200 million for Benavidez, and he want 150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to his legacy.
Terence Crawford recently expressed his opinions on the recently published boxing legend Canelo Alvarez. Crawford's rigorous training routines, inspiring excitement and expectation among boxing fans for a possible future bout between the two champions based on his meticulous preparation and dedication offered. Set to take place on Mexican Independence Day weekend in September 2025, the much-awaited fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford will see Canelo defending his WBC UBA and WBO belts against Crawford, who is making a big leap from welterweight to 168 ups.
He went on the rant with Teddy Atlas.
What's that mean?
He said you're the most overrated Mexican champion in history. He said that Salvador Sanchez and
boxeador mexicano.
Más popular,
pero sin causa. Sí.
Fucking crazy, that guy. and you think he knows boxing? Fuck.
In May, I've read somewhere that Canelo has shortlisted Crawford for the May fight, his fight in May. Dan, what's happening?
Yeah, listen, I think it's just a fluid situation. I don't think there's anything definitive one way or the other at this point. I mean, it's not a secret that that's a fight that's been discussed by a lot of us and by a lot of people in the sport for quite a while. Certainly, it's a fight that Turki Al-Sheikh from Saudi Arabia has shown a lot of interest in. And of course, if it's going to get made, someone's going to have to put up a lot of guaranteed money. And he's probably the person that's going to do it. He's obviously been working closely with Terence Crawford. He was involved with Terence Crawford's last fight that took place in August when he fought Israel Madrimov. It's obviously a fight that Terence Crawford has been very vocal about wanting. Now, Canelo hasn't ever said he wanted the fight, kind of downplayed it to a certain degree. But it wasn't that long ago, I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago, he was doing an appearance and he was asked about it and he didn't close the door on it. In the past, he sort of like closed the door on it and was like, I'm not interested. He's like, listen, I'll talk to anybody and listen to what they have to say about the deal, any kind of deal. So in my mind, that sort of at least cracked open the door to have the conversation. Like he wasn't just saying, forget it, in terms of working with Turkey or anybody else. So I think that Canelo is a smart person in terms of his boxing, but also in terms of his business. And when he looks around at the landscape and he wants to make a huge amount of money, like all top fighters or any fighter for that matter, and he looks and sees, who can I fight where I can make the biggest score, in a big time fight?
Crawford, a 4-division world champion, brings speed, accuracy, and adaptability to the ring. This clash of styles and skills has fans buzzing with excitement as it promises to be one of the biggest boxing events of the year. Canelo Alvarez is known for his power and tactical versatility.
When Terence Crawford said that he moved up and won, and Canelo moved up and lost.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
I don't think that was a strong point because Canelo Alvarez actually moved up and won. I mean, he moved up a lot of weight classes, but if you want to talk about light heavyweight, he moved up and he beat Kovalev. Then he moved up again and he lost to Bivol. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, he moves up to 154. He won 115, 113, but it was just an 11-0 Madrimov who didn't really have much of a resume, right? But there's a difference, to be real. I mean, Bivol is a Hall of Fame. Okay, this guy, all-time light heavyweight. This is a bit different. Canelo did knock out Kovalev when he did move up. Okay, and Kovalev is a bigger challenge at light heavyweight than Madrimov at 154 for Terence Crawford. Let's just keep it a bit.
Having a professional record of 62-22, Canelo Alvarez is a strong player in the super middleweight class. Canelo is a tough opponent for anyone because of his strength, agility, and experience. He has shown his capacity to compete at higher weight categories.
Listen, Canelo needs to understand he's a different fighter now. The deterioration is there. He's not the same guy. He's not that destroyer who's looking for knockouts early and keeps a pace and a pressure on you. He throws 30 punches around. You're not the same guy. So telling everyone you're going to knock them out and then going into, 6 decisions in a row now? Scores a knockdown every time. The power's still there. The problem is the pace and the ability to carry on and push. That's the real difference, and that comes with age. He's 34 going on 45 at this, as far as I'm concerned. He's got a ton of fights, been around for a long time, doesn't have that same desire, the same drive to take the chances against these younger, bigger guys, because he is fighting younger, bigger guys. So you got to keep that in mind as well.
When he fought Canelo and he was like standing right in front of Canelo and Canelo's just whiffing, it was a life lesson. And then you look at how good Canelo's head movement got after that fight when he realized it. I mean, my God, when he fought Danny Jacobs and Canelo's just standing right in front of him, bobbing. That's all what he learned from fighting Floyd.
Canelo Alvarez's recent training tape has been making ripples in the boxing community. Published ahead of his expected fight with Terence Crawford, the film displays Canelo's intensive preparation and everlasting passion. In the footage, Canelo showcases his explosive power with grueling strength and fitness. Drills, his speed and precision are on full display as he executes lightning-fast combos and crisp footwork. The video also demonstrates his focus on honing his techniques, with endless hours spent striking the heavy bag, shadow boxing, and working the NS with his trainers. Canelo's passion to his profession is clear, and he's leaving no stone unturned as he trains up for one of the most anticipated matches in boxing history. Fans and pundits alike are eager to see how this hard training will translate in the ring against the formidable Crawford. It's evident that Canelo is aiming to bring his aim to the bout, and his workout footage has only added to the hype and anticipation surrounding this epic confrontation.
Es esta, fíjate. Pam, 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 pam. Hun, hun, hun. Gancho. Digo. Eso. Eso. Eso.
Canelo has an outstanding track record, having victories over some of the top contenders in the sport. His capability to compete across multiple weight classes displays his adaptability and talent in the super middleweight category. Canelo's strength stands out, making him a dominant force. His ability to land hard punches and resist incoming assaults defines him as a highly threatening opposition.
You fought Floyd Mayweather at what? Were you 23?
23.
That's so fucking young.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him, because you know, if you beat him, you wanna be the best in the world at 23.
What do you think was so impressive about him?
His experience. He's so smart. He have everything in a fighter, a complete fighter. He don't have power in the punches, but when you that kind of fighter, you don't need it.
You think that was the toughest fight you faced?
No.
What do you think?
I think it's tough fights and difficult fights. That was a difficult fight.
Canelo is beating these guys with all 5 layers of defense. Number 1, feet. Number 2, elbows, hands, shoulders, and the mind. This is exactly how both of those guys got to the highest level of boxing supremacy. Canelo Alvarez means to the Mexican fans what Floyd Money Mayweather meant for black people. 50 wins in boxing, no losses, no draws. And follow for more.
In addition to his power, Canelo's agility and ring intelligence set him apart. His head movement, defense skills, and ability to counter-punch with precision make him a well-rounded fighter's experience against elite-level opposition has sharpened his ability to react and strategize in the ring. His latest victory over Edgar Berlanga in the super middleweight division further establishes his standing as a top-tier fighter.
I'll say he is the hardest, for sure. One of the fighters that hit very hard was Angulo. You know, he's a Cuban guy, and he punched very hard too. So I'll say both of them are like the same, but, you know, with Canelo, I was just mentally ready for his shots. You know, I already told myself, I know I'm going to get hit. I know I'm going to get hit on my chin, but it's, you know, I got to bite down on my mouthpiece and push. You know, and look what happened in the third round. I got hit with a left hook. We be practicing and camp the whole time, you know, keeping my right hand to my chin, and I wound up just moving, and he connected right on my chin. And you see how I punched my glove, you know, that's like a thing for me when my last time when I got dropped, I was punching my gloves, 'cause I'm like, damn, I got hit with a shot. I'm not supposed to be on the floor. But, you know, it comes to boxing. You know, the greats done got dropped, you know, got hurt. But it's about how you come back and respond.
Of the world, Mexico versus Puerto Rico, Saul Canelo Alvarez versus the chosen one, Edgar Berlanga.
Joe Rogan has expressed his opinion on the impending bout between Canelo Alvarez and Crawford. In a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan outlined why he believes Crawford has the edge against Canelo. He emphasized Crawford's fast skill set and strategic brilliance as crucial reasons that might lead to his triumph. Rogan also broke down how their distinct styles would clash in the ring, making it an intriguing showdown. Rogan's commentary has heightened to the excitement and suspense surrounding the battle, with fans eagerly expecting to see if Crawford can pull off the upset against the powerful Canelo.
I'm saying at once.
Right.
I'm saying I started at 135. I'm just saying, like, say if Canelo was the champion at 147 to go up 168.
Right in one jump.
Yeah, in one jump.
It's a big jump too. 21 pounds. It's a lot of weight.
It's a lot of weight.
Dan Raffel, a notable boxing analyst, has offered his extensive insights on the probable battle between Terence Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez. Raffel underlined that this showdown is one of the most anticipated matches in boxing, considering both fighters standing as pound-for-pound stars. He stressed the significance of the fight, adding that it would be a true test of Crawford's ability to compete at the super middleweight level against a dangerous opponent like Canelo.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody. You got to show me that you can beat him.
I would say to you that in terms of at least American boxing, or in this side of the world, Tyson, it's not like Tyson Fury and Joshua in the UK is still a huge fight. It doesn't mean a lot in the United States. Likewise, I don't think Canelo and Crawford is necessarily a huge fight in the UK, but here in the United States, it's probably the biggest fight that you could make of what's out there. He doesn't have a lot of guys in the super middleweight division that are going to be intriguing that much to the public, I don't think, right now. He's made it clear he's not interested to fight Benavidez. The Morrell fight was never even really a thing. Both of them have moved up. They're fighting each other on February 1st. And so if you put those guys out of the equation for the time being, and you figure Canelo's going to fight in May, I've actually heard rumblings that maybe he won't fight the May date, but he might go in June. But either way, he's going to be back, you know, in the first part of the year. And you ask yourself, okay, who's out there where you can make a score against, right? I mean, you know, I guess he could fight a top super middleweight contender. Like, I mean, I'm not saying this is the fight, but you look at the ratings, Christian Mbili is the undefeated WBC #1 contender.
Former world champion Demetrius Andrade believes that while Crawford is an excellent boxer, Canelo's height and experience at higher weight classes give him the edge. Andrade warns that Crawford would struggle with the power and agility of Canelo Benitez. says that for Crawford to confront Canelo, he would need to move up 2 weight classes, highlighting the significance of respecting weight divisions. Despite appreciating Crawford's great skills, Benitez gives Canelo the advantage in a hypothetical bout, showcasing the difficulties connected with stepping up in weight. Ben Aids, who has been a significant contender in the 147 libs division, is seen as a potential threat to Canelo, yet a fight between the two has yet to materialize.
I mean, I can't really say nothing about that. If that's what he wants to do, then that's what he's going to do. Canelo is a man that he does anything he wants to do. I don't think really what people say affects him. But I feel like the people, they want to see David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez. It's the biggest fight to make happen, and I feel like I'm the biggest threat to him.
Are you tired of people asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, I always say, I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with the Spence. He did like almost look very easy. But I knew Terence Crawford is a great fighter. But you never know in boxing. We'll see.
One of the major hurdles for Crawford would be stepping up 2 weight classes to challenge Canelo. Crawford already stepped up to 154 libs during his last fight when he scored a decision victory over Israel Madou, yet making the leap to super middleweight would mean fighting substantially taller and tougher opposition.
Can't look forward past Saturday, but do you feel like a fight like Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight, he's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
You know, everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better. No, Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He's a good fighter, but like I say, he's a weight classes for a reason. I'm focused 100% on Berlanga, and then you never know what happened.
Yeah. For sure.
Just a few weeks ago, you heard what Terence Bud Crawford had to say on why he wants to take on Saul Canelo Alvarez.
I just want the opportunity, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. He's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just like to, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a reason that I can get behind. If you notice, his primary reason isn't money. He did say it'll be the biggest fight, which, you do want a big fight, but I don't think he meant monetarily, which the money comes, okay? But what he's saying is he want to test himself versus the best. And I think he's telling the truth here, right? Of course you want big money and stuff like that, but I think his swan song is just him test himself up against the very best. Those are the reasons the war room can get behind.
Shaving recently moved up to 154 pounds. Crawford won the BO interim super welterweight title, but appeared to lack the same power he displayed at 147 pounds. However, moving up to super middleweight to face Canelo would be a significant leap. The challenges associated with this transition include adjusting to the increased power and physicality of opponents in the higher weight division. While Crawford's technique and skill are exceptional, questions remain about whether his power and durability will translate effectively to super middleweight.
Be great. That'll be 3 times. If you go 154 and win the belt, that's 3 times super. Mm-hmm. Then I said, chase super greatness. Come on, Canelo, 160.
Well, if he can get in there with Charlo in like his next 2 fights where he still got age on his side, then maybe go up again. Like if he's trying to chase the greatness. But I mean, he already done something that's never been done. Charlo don't want none of that smoke.
Teddy Atlas examines the challenge Canelo may have in trying to achieve 160 libs, which would be an optimum weight for Crawford to compete at. He observes that Canelo would likely be loath to drop to 160 pounds, particularly at his current level in his career.
Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight, he's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better. Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He's a good fighter, but like I say, he's weight classes for a reason. I'm focused 100% on Berlanga, and you never know what happened.
Yeah.
Instead, Atlas speculates that the fight could potentially take place at a catchweight such as 164 pounds, though he believes Canelo would be hesitant to agree to such terms given his established weight class dominance at 168 pounds. This issue of weight is central to Atlas's argument as it could affect the fighters' abilities to execute their strategies and maximize their strengths. Atlas also analyzes Crawford's adaptability and how it can offer him an advantage versus Canelo despite the size.
Saul, my carnal, how are you? Quick question. I know, as we walk, Canelo, how important is it that you've spoke with Turki Al-Sheikh?
Say again, please.
How important for you is it that you've spoke to Turki Al-Sheikh, and what did you speak about?
Look, I like to work with everybody. I'm a free agent, and I like to work with everybody. And I like to have the doors open.
Are we going to see Canelo Crawford next?
We'll see. It's a possibility there always. No, we'll see what happens.
Have you spoke with Turki about that show? Canelo?
We know each other. We don't talk that much for make a deal and anything, but we now know each other, and we'll see what happens.
Last one, I know you're pushed for time. Benavidez Morel, who wins?
It's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight. 50-50 fight.
Canelo, thank you.
We'd love to hear your comments on the impending battle between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Do you believe Crawford will overcome the hurdles of rising up in weight to take on Canelo, or will Canelo's experience and power prevail? Share your forecasts, opinions, and any insights you have in the comments below.